And what that means is that, and the population of the world has, increased by fourfold in the last 100 years. And it means that there are now, billions of people who want their shot at the global dream, the American dream, whatever you want to call it. And there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. And I think that for us, one of the great awakenings for us, and I was in Chile last week at this progressive governance conference where I listened to many speeches about the death of neoliberalism and from South American leaders. But I think what was really clear to me in that meeting was the notion that, America is, I really think, facing an unprecedented moment in its history, which is that we've become seen as being an exporter of chaos as opposed to an exporter of stability, prosperity, and modernity. And between what happened with Iraq, which was the action of a drunken, out-of-control superpower who had no near peer, as Rob calls it, or what's happened where we're being blamed now for exporting this global financial crisis, that our brand has been really weakened in a way that I think is very hard for an American to really come to terms with, at a time where the rest of the world has also become much more competitive. And so I think that our job as a nation in the next generation is that we got a lot of work to do. And I think the good news is, as Rob said, is that what may be happening is we're accelerating the death of elements of the 20th century economy that needed to go away in order to allow a rebirth, a Phoenix-like rebirth of this 21st century economy that has to be built with higher skills, be more low carbon in its orientation, that is recognizing that competition is more intense, so we have to invest more in infrastructure, schools, radically improving all elements of what I call learning as opposed to education. We really do have to make this commitment to continuous improvement in learning as an entire society. I think there's a whole different way of viewing how we go forward that I think we have a real opportunity. And I think Barack is halfway there. To his credit, I think he's way ahead of everybody else, and certainly way ahead of Congress, in understanding that this is a transformational moment and not a moment of recovery. We don't want to go back to where we were. Where we were was declining wages and incomes for the United States, for American workers, right? The recovery, I think, is the worst word we can possibly use in this discussion, because we have to go forward and use this opportunity for transformation. And I think that's where I think Barack understands this. The question is, how does he bring along the United States and the rest of the world? And I think that's going to be one of the great challenges going ahead. Yes, sir.